This is OnlineGroup8's final project demonstration video. I'm going to briefly discuss our code approach and then do a short game demonstration. So our group decided to use Battleship, and we started out with several classes. First one obviously being the ship class, which we used a specific size and of 3 and a hit count that starts at 0. Several getter and setter methods to update the size and the hit count. And then we have a method that returns true if the ship is sunk, basically if the hit count equals the size. The ship is then placed on a board. The board is a character array, a two-dimensional character array that starts out as empty. We initialize that. It contains methods to set a ship on the board, which changes the state of the board to S, from E to S. It catches the array index out of bounds exception and reverses the ship if the user tries to put the ship on the board in a way that would send it off the board. And then the getter and setter methods to change the state. We have one player. Player has a ship and the player has a board, and the player can be attacked. Basically, this method does not allow the player to attack so much as it attacks the player. So it gets states of the board, it updates hit counts, it changes the state to hit from S if it's a ship on the board. If not, otherwise it sends a miss and returns false. The player plays against a computer AI. It's basically a very basic computer AI. It also has a ship and a board. It can set its own ship using the set ship on board method. It has methods to get X and Y coordinates at random for its attack methods. This attack method allows the computer to be attacked by the player, just like the player can be attacked by the computer. We wrote the program in Java FX, so we have a Java FX ML controller, and this controller instantiates and defines all of our buttons and graphics. This is where the game actually happens. So we have some variables. We instantiate player and computer opponent, and the code for updating the player board graphics and computer board graphics and placing the ship graphics and such like that. The fire button handles the game loop. While the game isn't over, if it's the player's turn, the player attacks the opponent and then ends the turn when it's the computer's turn, we get a random guess and then attack the player. So those are the basic, that's the basic code. And now I'll do a short demonstration. So when we open the game to run it, here's our computer board, a 5x5 grid, our player board. Both of these are empty at the time of start. Once you click Start Game, you get your coordinate buttons and a prompt to set the coordinate and orientation of your ship. The ships come in as a default value of horizontal, so to make them vertical you would click the button. If I wanted to set a horizontal ship at C3, the ship comes in at C3 and takes up 3 spaces. Likewise, I can start a ship at C3, make it vertical, and set it, and it comes in as vertical, C3, D3, and E3. And as I discussed earlier, the computer game can handle if we decided to set the ship in a starting position that would send the ship off the board, it reverses the board. So if I used E5 as a coordinate and a horizontal ship, it would reverse the ship and start at E5 and end at E3. Just like that. We can also do the same thing horizontally, or I'm sorry, vertically. If I wanted to set a ship at D4 vertically, it would reverse it and set it up to D, C, and B4. Once I have my ship set in its final location, the Set Ship buttons disappear and your Fire button appears, and you can start to select your coordinates for attack. You'll be attacking the computer board up here. I'll start at A1 and fire. It registers a miss, registers over here, you missed. The computer took its turn after mine. B5, it missed. So I can, again, B2 is a miss. Computer guessed C1 and that was a miss. C3, I get a hit on C3. The computer missed. If I want to try B3, I get a miss. If I want to try C2, I get a miss. Let's try D3, miss. So now I know the ship is this way. The computer is registering its random misses. So C4, hit, and C5, I win. It's also possible to let the computer randomly guess until it also can win. And when the computer wins, it pops up with a game over window that says that you lose.